Good morning, everybody. I apologize for my poor audio quality today. I've got my Bluetooth headset. My proper microphone is not with me today, but thought I'd hop on here and share a really nice looking trade setup that's forming here on soybeans. If you follow my channel, you know that I really like what I like to call ducks in a barrel type trade setup. So trades that are as easy as shooting a duck in a barrel. And we've got one shaping up here on soybeans. So let's get into it. So step number one is to identify the trend. So looking at the candles, it's pretty obvious soybeans is in a pretty strong downtrend. We also throw these moving averages on the chart, the 52 and the 39, and they're sloped down strongly and pulling away from each other. So that's what I like to see for a strong downtrend. So we've identified the trend is down. So step number two is to look at valuation versus gold and bonds. So this indicator here shows that soybeans are overvalued relative to the price of bonds and also overvalued relative to the price of gold. If an asset is overvalued in a downtrend, it's a good selling opportunity. Next step is to look at the stochastics. In the case of a downtrend, we want to see it overbought. We see today the overbought signal on the stochastic. If an asset is overbought in a downtrend, it's a good asset to sell. This isn't confirmed yet, but we have momentum down here, 28 period moving momentum indicator diverging. Higher highs on the momentum, lower highs on price. This doesn't confirm until we get a daily close below this low, but it's something that I'm watching. Now, in addition to this, I like to look at sentiment. So here we have a downward price move in soybeans, and we see that advisor sentiment is extremely bullish. Look at the last time advisor sentiment was this bullish. It has been a long time. And basically, in a downtrend, if the advisors are super bullish, the public in general is very bullish, that's a time to look for sells. We also have insider distribution going on, so lower high here in price, while there's a higher high on the accumulation distribution index. We also get a sell signal on the percent R. So how do we pull this all together and trade this idea? So when I'm using a daily time frame for my trend and my valuation analysis, I use the 4 hour for my entries. So the most safe entry would be if we see two full range days below the 18 period moving average, and then price trades below the lowest low of those 2 days. So if we had these two trade closes right here, and then the next day opened right here, and then went below and took out this low, that'd be a market entry. That's the safest, that's the most confirmed trend change you can get. There are earlier entry techniques that maybe have a higher failure rate, but you will get into the move earlier. So this one here I've marked out as a 3 bar trail. So counting back 1, 2, 3, we don't count the inside bar. Price hits this level, that would be a trend change. There's others, but those are the ones that are most obvious here on the chart. So that's what I'm looking for on soybeans for a short. I'll show you just briefly how it played out previously in this down move. So we see prices in a downtrend. We have a move up. We become overvalued versus gold. We become overbought on the stochastic, and we become overvalued, or sorry, bullish sentiment from the advisors. That's a lot of ingredients for a good short. So how would we have got involved in this market? So you can see we didn't become, I like to see at least two of these in alignment. So we didn't have two of them in alignment until right here when gold also popped into overvalued along with overbought. So we would have been looking at a 3 bar trail. 1, 2, 3. When price traded below that low, would have got, or when price traded into that low right here, would have got short. Our stop would have been 120% of the 3 period ATR. So here's the 3 period ATR of the entry time frame. I guess would have been somewhere around there. Now, where would our target have been? I like to use target shooter. So target is taking the swing. You can see over here I took this swing and it just extends symmetrically out. So our target would have been right down here, 3.78R. One thing I like to do is use a trailing mechanism where you take a 30-year position off at the initial target. So we have taken a third off there, a third of our stop would have been position would have been trailed to there, and a third there. So this basically would have been trailed as price continued to make new lows. This would have been the lowest low. So basically, if price comes back 30% of the move from our entry, we want to take some off. But then we leave this stop here just in case to give the trade room to breathe in case this move is going to accelerate to the downside. We want an opportunity to participate in that move, which this strategy allows us to do. So that is what I'm watching for on soybeans. If you follow my channel, you'll know that I am actually long soybeans right now with my commitment to trader strategy, which is why I have separate accounts for different trading strategies, because sometimes you'll get signals in opposite directions. So right now, the commercials are more close to the max positioning on the long side that they've been in 3 years, which is bullish. And open interest has basically been, increasing this whole multi-month down move. And when open interest increases, we have to ask the question, who's causing the increase? And in this case, it's the commercials, which is bullish. Now we also have very bearish weekly sentiment. We're undervalued versus gold and bonds on the weekly, and there's a punch forming. And the small specs are at a buy signal as well in the small spec index. So I am long for those reasons, but this is an entirely different strategy on an entirely different time frame and still very valid. This is basically a picture perfect trade for me. Trend, valuation, overbought, sentiment, accumulation or distribution. It's beautiful. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message and I'll update you as this trade progresses. And until then, I wish you good luck and good trade.